Magic button.
Magic missile. Hi everyone. That made it onto the screen. Hi everyone. I'm out of metal. Um, Man, I'm old. That is an old ass meme. That's a 2008 meme. Hi everyone. Um,
7. Wow.
um, Hi everybody. I'm gonna. What's happening? I'm gonna change my thoughts for a second. I'll just say what we saw, and I think you can guess by the time. Do you want me to just do what
Yes.
little prep I can do before you do?
Do what
So
you
we
need
saw
to do, man.
Shazam Fury of. Is it 15 seconds? It is. Shazam Fury of My Taint. It's directed Fury of the Gods, directed by David F. Sandberg. Who is. What's the movie about? It's a sequel to Shazam, I guess.
So the Daughters of Atlas,
Yeah, you took
after Billy breaks the staff in the first movie, which I honestly forgot about. Hi, Jared. The Daughters of Atlas come back to try and restore the glory that was Olympus at that time, but they have it with malicious intent, and they want to take over the world, and they are, from the trailer you can see that they're taking the powers from the Shazam family, because as people know who are fans of the character, Shazam is an acronym, and they are trying to restore that power from the gods. So that's the good.
Yeah. Oh, God. Sorry.
No, go ahead. Seriously, that's all I had.
Oh, okay. Yeah, like they have the power of all the gods. Guys, you know what? I'm going to contain my thoughts. First off, since Jared is here, Jared, yeah, and otherwise fuck the plot. So, Jared, if you're here, you make these thumbnails. I'm sorry, when we went into this, I genuinely thought this was not going to be a spoiler review. It's at least part of this is going to be a spoiler. It has to be. Because, I've said my. Go ahead. I'll keep it in. I'll cue up the sound effect. Go ahead, Ben. What are your thoughts on the movie first?
I talked to Grant about this before the movie started. I was not a big fan of the first movie. I thought it was too forcey on the jokes. I liked the message and everything, and I wasn't a really big fan of the characters until I saw this movie. And I realized how abysmal the Sandberg had made these characters, and I had a greater appreciation for the first movie.
Mm-hmm.
The only, like, if you check my Letterboxd, shameless plug, I gave it 2 stars because of the Greek mythology aspects of it. That was about it. There were some cool things that I thought were there that I was like, oh, that's kind of cool. Like Shazam punches a dragon with a lightning fist, and I turned to Grant and I said, Grant, you have to admit that's pretty cool. And then he flipped me off in the theater.
Now don't spoil the surprise, Ben. Don't spoil the surprise. So you gave it. So that's your score then? Is 2 stars? You're gonna stick with
2 out of 5. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Not to say that you actually liked it, but just I respect your opinion. I respect that it's different than mine. Do you mind
I didn't like the movie. I want to make that clear. I did not like it.
Slightly more than mine, which should give you a good indication.
Yeah.
So are you ready? Are you ready, Ben?
I've been ready.
For the first time live, unless you count a certain list we did recently. Ben, my boy, you've been my fan since the beginning. You've been especially a fan of this. Guess what, people?
I'm fucking ready for
it. Wait. Wrong one. Sorry, my bad.
No, it's great. It's the build-up.
It's the Angry Grant Show, live from Edwardsville, Illinois. It's the Angry Grant Show, live, starring Grant the Movie and TV Guy and Chubbs.
Yeah, we were cracking jokes this entire time during this movie.
To quote, okay, first off, again, spoiler alert, and also abandon all hope you enter here, and put small children away because it's going to get aggressively profane.
Mm-hmm.
First off, the line that is the $10 line from me, not the movie. Do you want to do the honors, Ben, from the ending of this movie?
Oh yeah, taste.
No,
Your catchphrase? Knock knock. Is that what?
No, my line. Remember that you said was so great at the end?
Oh, suck my cock. He's not dead.
Say it again.
Suck my cock. He's not dead.
Yeah, I said it out loud in the theater and no one gave a shit. Here's the two other people who were there. This is gonna bomb and I'm happy. Here's why. I should preface this by saying, Ben here mentioned that he has a greater appreciation for the first one after this, that he wasn't as big on it. I, on the other hand, loved the first Shazam. I loved it. I gave it, if I didn't give it 5 stars, I should have given it 5 stars. It was on my best of list in 2019 before I officially could put one out, before it was on this platform. I love that movie. It's full of heart. It's funny, terrific, and it's simple. That being said, as much as I love Shazam 1, is as violently I fucking hated Shazam 2. I'm just going to be real with you. Ben had to talk me off of the walking out ledge.
Yeah, he was. I saw him adjust. I'm like, Grant, we can't. Like, we got to stay. Like, is.
And I'll tell you the exact moment where I grabbed the thing and I said, Ben, I think I gotta go. And he goes, no, be a good boy, doing a review. And you have to stay through the credits too. And the movie didn't end once the credits started, of course. That also, I will get to that shit. Let's poke the bear, it's fun. Anyway.
I think we knew the movie was gonna go down when Nicole Kidman didn't do her full AMC thing. It was the abridged.
Yes, and then they showed the full one. Okay, first off, let's start with the experience first. And I mean this out of love for all of you. He works at the theater when he's not, putting up with, me being back on my bullshit in a movie theater. He works there. The trailers ran. We'll get to the trailers when we get to trailer trash. Trailers ran. The screen went dark. 5 minutes went by. The screen still was dark. Movie didn't start. Here's how bad this movie was. The blank screen for 2 hours and 10 minutes would have been a better experience for me. Because I would have been...
Wait, no, it didn't black screen. It was Nicole Kidman.
Yeah, it was Nicole Kidman.
And then it black screened.
Right before the floating numbers. And then literally he had to text someone to take care of it. The movie ended. Credits rolled. Post-credits. Again, we'll get there. Oh, boy. Fucking howdy. We'll get there. Jesus fucking Christ. I am. Next to Blood and Honey, this is the angriest I've gotten in a movie in my entire history being on this platform. I fucking hated this movie. Anyway, credits ended. Post-credits. Thanks for coming out and rating, whatever. Closing logo. Then Nicole Kidman. Again.
The abridged, not the full,
Well, it was the full, wasn't it?
It was still the short one.
Yeah, speaking of that, before we even get to the review, I stand with Alonzo Duraldi's Change.org petition. Everyone should sign it. Keep the full-length version. Nicole Kidman ad is a national treasure, and it's the best part of every bad movie I've seen in the last 2 years. Keep it.
Mm-hmm.
All of it. I don't care if you want to get to the movie. Fuck that shit, especially with this movie. Nicole Kidman, the full version. First and foremost, none of that abridged shit. I'm sorry, I hate that. Second, and they do it in IMAX all the time. Second off, and only in IMAX. Except in Dolby, when more often than not they just don't have it at all. That's happened a few times.
I've had it every time, whether it's a screening that we have with the employees, or there is just a regular guest. It's the full version every time. In fact, it's every time I've been to our theater. Today was the first time I saw the abridged.
Ben, do you remember what I yelled when she reappeared after this movie? After the hell we went through together?
Not again.
I stood up, cupped my hands as poor Daniel came in to clean up. and could hear me screaming at the top of my lungs, "You fucking lying harpy! You told me Heartbreak would feel good in a place like this. It fucking sucked." And you were laughing like a hyena because you were poking the bear.
Grant, I want you to know everyone at the theater loves and adores you. And every time that you're there, I will talk to the employees and like, do you guys know who? Like, that's Grant. Like, he's a regular. He does movie reviews, stuff like that. He's one of our best guests, and it's really fucking funny when he's mad.
No, I don't mean to be. That's the thing, is that it's genuine rage. There's only a little stank on it. Like it's like, but I guess I found funny when I'm mad because I turn around.
No, it's just like it's funny of how upset you are about this like 2-hour piece of media that you experienced. Okay. And because sometimes like I'll like before I see a movie, I'll watch your review and be like, all right, is it really worth it? And I'll still end up watching it regardless.
Yeah, you really shouldn't though most of the time. He should not have paid $50. Okay, I'm never gonna forget that shit. He paid $50 after already 2 days after talking about how fucking great Chuckle Fuck McGee, Austin fucking Chuckle Fuck McGee, coming to me and said that you didn't like Blood and Honey? It was awesome. Fuck
Chuckle Fuck McGee.
Chuckle Fucks McGee. There, I called it what he is. Put Everything Everywhere on his worst, and The Northman on his worst of listening. You love Blood and Honey. Suck my cock, Austin. Anyway, respectfully, suck my cock. The other thing I was gonna say though was, and then he's sitting there and he goes, "Hey, I paid $15. I rented Redeeming Love. I didn't think it was that bad." I'm like, "You didn't. You piece of shit. You did not give those horrible people $15. It was my worst movie of 2022. I described the plot in detail in every way that it's horrible." And he goes, "Yes, and all of it happened. I didn't think it was that bad." It's like, fuck you, Austin. It was like, man. Anyway, moving on, however. Because we're never, if we keep on this path, we're never getting this review.
We will never.
There's a lot to get.
We'll go through those 10 hours.
It's true. That we could, man. We could potentially be talking about this movie longer than it took to watch it at a certain point, because there's a lot to cover.
There really is.
It is terrible.
And I think the thing that like sucked the most about this movie was the character development that everyone had
character development.
in the first movie. Okay,
that's what I'm saying.
So like for those who haven't watched the first Shazam, I do say now it's worth the watch. I think it's a fun DC movie that people enjoy. Billy struggles with finding a family,
right,
and coping with that, and how I described him when I saw it, the annoying crippled kid in the first Shazam, Freddy.
He was the best character in Shazam, the first one.
He was a really good character, but I just thought he was just really annoying.
Yeah.
I should say, he was the best character after the performance that the actor had today in Fury of the Gods. The character that was Freddy was not the same Freddy that everyone saw back in 2019, because
none of them were though.
The only person that like stayed the same to me were the parents.
But even they though, because okay, you go ahead. I'm sorry, I don't mean to talk over.
No, you're fine. You're perfectly fine, because they still have that same like oblivious like, hey, we care about you all kids and stuff like that. And they had that lighthearted, joking stuff, which is what we briefly saw as an audience when they first appeared.
Yeah.
And the thing with Freddy in the second movie is he's a douche.
All of them are.
He's a douchebag.
But not this Freddy though. He's the worst example of it. But the thing is that, okay, should I just tell them the one positive? It's not going to save this movie from what is coming. But
no, go ahead, talk about it, because it is a positive that should be talked about.
There's one sort of big positive. It doesn't last, and it doesn't make the movie better. But there is one thing. There is one that's like 30 seconds of this movie where you get the glimmer of these characters how they were in the first movie, and what made them so lovable. I'll just say what it is. The parents, by the way, the mom is still fine as hell. I'm just gonna say it. She's pretty for a month. Anyway, but I'm done simping. So basically, what
Grant
happens,
going after the Mills.
but essentially what happens is, for those who remember seeing the first one, I guess minus what. By the end of the first movie, they don't know that all their foster kids are superheroes. They don't know. So they do in this movie. And this is, I think, what hurts their characters, quite frankly. But the scene where it happens is great. Because what happens is they go in, and understandably, they're in costume, they're grown-ups, right? Most of them. With the exception of the one sister who already is a grown-up. They go in, and the other kid who lost his father. Anyway, the mom loses her shit, kind of understandably. She picks up a bat, is going to use it on, because they're these strange adults in their house full of small children who they've never met before, who, up to that point, she considers to be a menace to society because of the fact that all parents of superheroes who don't know the kids are superheroes think the superheroes are bad, right? Freaks out. And in the chaos, they're trying to save face, and they establish the kid, what is it? Hispanic.
Not
kid,
Eugene.
No, the Asian kid. The other one.
Right. Let me.
Kind of chubby, right? Okay, but he's kind of like in superhero form. He's super buff and like tall, whatever.
I think it's. Yeah.
They established in this movie that he's LGBTQ, right? Unless I missed something in the first movie, this movie established it. So
Pedro. His name is Pedro.
Pedro. Okay. So Pedro, yeah, he's gay. So they establish. So in this movie, it's that chaotic sort of everyone talking over each other, everyone, and then they say, like, "Who are you?" And they go, "We're." It's like, "I'm Billy," and then he goes, "I'm gay," just at that moment, and then they all take a beat, and they're like, "We know." He goes, "Really?" And the mom's like, "Yeah, sweetheart, we've always known." And they kind of like have this they take a beat and they have this little moment of recognition. And that is the only scene in the movie that's any good. And then the rest of the movie, and it's the closest we get, and this like loving recognition, and that is the closest we get in this movie. Everything else is putrid. And I'm sorry, I'm going off on a
You're fine.
But you signed up for the Angry Grant show, so because these characters, it suffers from a problem I often have with sequels, but this one in particular, which is it's more forgivable than other sequels. What I call reversion, or as I like to call it, unlearning, because in the first movie, the arc of Billy Batson is. It's Little Orphan Annie, basically. It's this kid, he's had a hard knock life. He had a dad who wasn't there, a mom who abandoned him. He was an orphan, right? And he meets this family who takes him in, this foster family, and he's been in the system for so long that he doesn't want to call them mom and dad. He doesn't want to, have any kind of connection with these kids. And by the end of it, he's calling them his brothers and sisters. He's calling his parents, I believe, mom and dad, right? Like there's an actual. He learns to accept this family and love this family, and it's earned, and it's moving. And one of the first scenes we see of Billy Batson in this is the mom very sweetly saying, "Have a good day, sweetie," or something, and he goes, "Sure, her first name." He doesn't even say mom. He's like Linda or whatever her name is.
Yeah, Rosa. Thanks, Rosa.
Rosa. Yeah, thanks, Rosa. And he does it kind of coldly, and you're like, why is he being an asshole? Why is he doing this? And then he consistently does it. And the other thing about this movie that pisses me off is this movie would not happen the way, for the most part, with the exception of how the villains get to Earth. And even then, okay, actually, you know what? Even that, now that I think about it, and it retroactively makes the first movie worse. It is everything in this movie. Everything in this movie happens because every fucking character, including the villains, are the dumbest motherfuckers in the world.
And not just the characters, Grant. Even the dome. The dome likes to move.
And the other thing, too, is that they're not just dumb. They're mean-spirited, inconsistent motherfuckers. All of them. And it's not just Billy. Like Freddy, okay, call him an annoying psychic, whatever. But the thing is, he was a smart character in the first movie. He was the expert. He was the guy who told
He
Billy
was the guy in
Batson.
the chair.
Basically, yeah, he was Ned Leeds. Basically, he was the guy who was telling him, you know, he didn't know all this stuff, so he turned to him to be like, "Oh yeah, this is Aquaman, and this is what he can do, and we gotta test and see if you can do this, right?" He was bumbling and he was a silly character, but he was smart. He was quick on his feet, and none of the bad stuff that happened because he was an idiot, or Billy Batson was. It was because they were kids and they were just, trying to work things out, right? In this movie, not only is he dumb as a box of hammers, he's actively hostile and rude to everybody in this movie. He's not a likable character in this. Not and him especially. They have and this has also made me mad because this plot point could have had potential. I actually liked this. So as he mentioned, it's the Daughters of Atlas. The three characters are all played by terrific actors who are just great and look like they're having fun. I mean, I'm sure it was fun to make this movie. It's not fun to watch it, but But
I had fun watching it because you just got angry, and I watched the movie, and then I looked at you.
And despite the movie, though, I hope. But it's Helen Mirren, Lucy Liu, and Rachel Zegler, right? They're all, fine actors. Like Rachel Zegler, just fresh off West Side Story, which is a great movie, right? Her character in particular is the sort of the villain who has a heart and kind of heel turns in the movie. The way they set her character up is kind of interesting, and then even that not only becomes weird, but it becomes creepy. In that Twilight kind of way, because basically what happens is, they're goddesses, right? And mind you, Rachel Zegler is an attractive lady. She looks the part, but she also is, normal looking enough that she could pass as just a normal young person. Even though she's 30, so she couldn't really, or about that. I mean, she doesn't look like a high school student. But in this movie, she looks a lot older than him, even though she probably isn't. But in this movie, that's actually fitting, because in this movie, the setup of her character is she's the new girl. She's undercover as the new girl in school who catches Freddy's eye. That's kind of interesting, where he starts to fall for her, and it's kind of that, almost like an exaggerated superhero version of that teen comedy trope of two guys who are buds and then a girl gets in the way. That could have been kind of interesting. But the problem is that the first time, the way that they meet cute is terrible. The way they meet cute in this movie is literally these assholes beat the snot out of him and break his cane because he still has a disability. He still walks with a cane, like one of those canes that you wrap around your wrist. And they break it. They beat him up, and they're like, "Huh, aren't we hot? We beat up the disabled kid." And she understandably is like, "No, you're an asshole." Straight up, you're beating up a disabled kid. That's not cool. Fuck you, right? Not really, because it's PG-13, but yeah, that's what she says, right? No, they saved the one half F-bomb for the worst moment in the movie, but we'll get
Is the best part of the movie. That was funny.
We'll get to that fucking bullshit. Because that was the moment. That moment was the moment I said, I gotta go, man. That was the moment, okay? That was when I was done. I was like, nope. The rest of this movie can go. This movie could be the best movie in the last 10 minutes. I don't fucking care. Fuck this movie. What happens is that... So, it's... Hey, Fritzky, by the way. What's up, buddy? Yeah, poke the bear. It's funny. Alex. Fuck off. Anyway. Respectfully, fuck off. Anyway. So what happens is... Okay, so where was I? So
the Anthea as a character was kind of horrible.
Yeah, because basically they meet cute, but even they have no chemistry. They just meet each other, and she, under all intents and purposes, thinks he's just some normal scrawny kid who needs saving, right? Who maybe is just a little big for his britches. She thinks he just knows who the superheroes are, right? So what happens is that he powers up to impress her. Her sisters show up, depower him, kidnap him, and that's what caused her change of heart. But when it's the moment where she's still kind of playing the part of being the bad guy, Freddy, thrice in 2 minutes, just to hammer the point home, gives her shit. you like basically says all the like fuck you lying bitch. Basically like everything other than that. And I'm just sitting there and I turn to him like, dude, go fuck yourself. Like I actually remember I muttered that to you, like, dude, go fuck yourself. Like you lied too. Like you told her that you made her believe you're just some guy. So you're a hypocrite too. It's like fuck you. And then yeah. Go ahead.
So that capturing scene, which was a very big, they implemented a very big part of the story, and they had cast this spell, which implemented a bubble over the city of Philadelphia, and a pretty good size of it too.
Yeah.
And the bubbles brought up throughout the movie, except for one part.
Yeah.
One part where they forget that the bubble exists, and you can't even see it in an overhead shot.
Right.
It's when the dragon shows up. When the dragon shows up,
I
looked at you and I said, "Where the fuck is the bubble?"
I couldn't hear you. That's what I couldn't hear you say.
Yeah, they forgot the dome. They forgot the dome.
Okay. You got your $10 catchphrase on that one where you turn to me and he says, Simpsons already did this. I'm like, yeah, they did better too. Simpsons did it. I'm like, yeah, but they did better. Simpsons movie's hilarious. Go watch it.
It is. Love it.
Yeah, you get to see Bart's peeing, which is weird, but other than that,
it's really weird.
Yeah, they don't censor it on Disney Plus either, which is kind of silly.
I'm glad they didn't censor it.
They said they took out all the anti-Disney jokes, but they didn't take out Bart's dick, which is bizarre.
Really.
Yeah, and the thing is, the anti-Disney joke is like the funniest joke in the Simpsons movie. Okay, real quick, I'm just gonna sidebar here. In the Simpsons movie, there's a great joke where Bart gets drunk off whiskey, and they're hiding out in a hotel room. He takes one of Marge's like black lacy like bras that look kind of like mouse ears, and he straps them to his head, and he goes, "Dad, Dad," and he's annoying Homer, and he goes, "Dad, look at me. I'm the mascot of an evil corporation." That was one of the funniest jokes in that movie, and they took it out.
What such? Fuck Disney.
Yeah, for real. Anyway,
back to the shit show of a movie.
Why don't we just review the Simpsons movie? It's so much better than this. Anyway, moving on though to Shazam. So yeah, but yeah, you made that. That was a good point. The other point I wanted to say too is they established something that's honestly, like again, not a bad idea, kind of cool, right? That they drop because dumb. So in the movie, because it's a stupid movie, in the movie they establish that one of the powers that Shazam has, and they officially named him Shazam, even though, again, in the comics, he was never named Shazam, he was Captain Marvel, but I know they can't call him that. Shazam is just the name of the story, it's not the character. He's Captain Sparklefingers. Fuck you, Shazam, too. He's Captain Sparklefingers forever. Anyway. So, but the point being made, he goes to... they established that basically they have a permanent escape route, basically. That their powers afford them. It's the scene where they all have the fight at the Philly cheesesteaks. It's the Fast and the Furious joke in the movie. It's a lot funnier in the trailer. The Fast and Furious bit.
Yeah, it was pretty loud. It was a lot funnier in the trailer.
The few chuckles were all in the trailer. Like the scene where he thinks the guy's a therapist and he's actually a pediatrician. That was funnier in the trailer. It had a better payoff in the trailer. Yeah, nothing. This movie's bad. Anyway, but the movie is they're having the fight, and it's a poop joke. Yeah, poop is a plot point in this because they go into a porta-john, and they create a portal in the porta-john so that when they go through it, they disappear into thin air, and it's just the dude on the john that they see, right? And they established, too, that they're able to find Helen Mirren's character because the scent of the poo from the porta-john is lingered into a door she's hiding in, whatever. They have an escape route, and they have a network, like I told him, it's basically fucking Monsters, Inc., but not as good. They have a network of other dimensions through these floating doors. It's Monsters fucking Inc., right? But again, not as good, right?
Not as good.
Randall's also a better villain than these three people. He genuinely is. So, They have that set up. Okay, fine. Not 10 minutes later, they're basically playing grab ass and keep away with this apple by flying into midair where Lucy Liu can easily take away their powers. Like, it starts with Mary, and then it's like, and then I said, that's a good strategy. Or you could, I don't know, open anything with a doorway to go where you need to go to hide. And it would still, the movie would still be as long, and it would still be an action sequence. Why aren't you doing that? Again, Monsters Inc. did it. Like, make that the bit, it'd be kind of clever. But no, grab ass in the sky. Right?
Absolutely.
And they keep ignoring it, and never comes back up again. And it's a thing. It's like it's like if a movie set up that, you know, that joke on Twitter when Infinity War was coming out, that the reason that Ant-Man wasn't in Infinity War is because he was the strongest Avenger because he could crawl up Thanos' ass and kill him from inside.
Mm-hmm.
Imagine if a movie set up a get-out-of-jail-free card like that and then just ignored it for no reason. Like, they easily could stop the bad guys right away, and they don't because they're dumb, right? It's everything that happens in this movie and continues to happen because characters are idiots. He starts a relationship with this girl, Freddie, that he barely knows. They kiss. And then they establish, mind you, to be fair, the parents play it off like oh, that's kind of weird. But it doesn't matter because they still end up living happily ever after together. But they establish she's 6,000 years old and he's like 17.
Mm-hmm.
What the fuck? What the fuck, Ben?
Hey, I didn't say it was a smart movie, Grant. I said it was a movie.
I'm aware, but what the fuck, Ben?
Oh, it's not.
If the roles were reversed, that's a horror film. Like, even if she looks 17, I don't fucking care. She's 6,000 fucking years old. She might have great grandchildren somewhere. She should not be dating a 17-year-old boy. She shouldn't.
But why?
Like, that's why. It's literally, I turned to you and I said, this is literally just. So we just kept making South Park jokes. Like, there's a magic floating pen, and this was one of the few gags that made me smile the first time. His name is Steve. That was kind of cute. But I can't lie, it was kind of cute. But he, like, dictates everything, and you turn to me like, Chat GPT, dude. And I was like, yeah. So he kept making jokes, and I turned to him and I said, when they established that they're eating dinner at the end, I said, this is literally just a big budget, kid-friendly remake of Miss Teacher Begs a Boy from South Park. The one where Ike Broflovsky is dating his hot teacher, and none of the guys in South Park are pissed because she's hot. Even though he's like a kindergartner.
That's a pretty good episode.
That's totally what this is. Except you don't even have Cartman showing up dressed as Dog the Bounty Hunter. So
that was a great bit in that.
I know.
I'm the dog, the big dog, the bounty hunter.
Beth is just a walking thing of cleavage. South Park is awesome. Just go watch South Park, damn it. Why are you watching this? Go binge watch South Park. South Park's awesome.
Absolutely.
Even if weaker episodes are better than Shazam 2. But anyway, yeah, so they're together now. Happy. Here's the other thing. There's a moment, and I turned to you, and this is the first moment I kind of started to drop the facade of I'm giving this a chance, and been like, dude, what the fuck? Where she turns to him and she says, wait, what are you doing? Because it's like half his dialogue in this. What are you doing? Girl I just met who's hot and that's the only reason I love you. She says, like, I'm protecting you like you protected me from those bullies or something to that extent. I'm like, bitch, you stood there as these assholes beat him up and you're still doing that. Fuck you.
It's such a great movie, folks. Regardless of how Grant and I feel about it, I think everyone should watch it, and then you should then go touch grass, because there's a lot of things you could have done with those 2 hours and 10 minutes.
Fuck, man, fuck. This movie, fuck it. Anyway, damn it. Oh, good. We lost Ben. Fantastic. I guess I'll keep going. So, oh my God, it's so bad. There he is. Back again, hold on.
I'm back.
Pause it for a second, buddy. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. I cannot see you.
Oh shit.
But it's okay.
Okay. Honestly, I think we're getting close to getting to trailer trash because I think my rage is almost expended. So
I don't know what else we could say about this movie about how bad it is without
I have
like
a few more points I want to make before we head out here. But
yeah. I did like the Greek mythology aspect. I thought the dragon was cool. That was a pretty cool dragon.
Here's the other thing I want to mention that I didn't get time to tell you. It's an ugly looking movie. Special effects aren't that good. It's kind of bad special effects.
They weren't.
The dragon, the design was cool, but it didn't look finished to me. It looked
its execution, yeah, I can see that.
I kind of like that it almost looks like shards of ice that form into a dragon, like blue eyes and blue light. That was kind of cool. It was a cool kaiju look. Like some of the designs. Oh, that reminds me. Thank you, Ben. We actually do have some things to talk about. Okay, I want to take you guys back to the dewy days of 2002, or whenever you watch this on video. You guys remember Sam Raimi's first Spider-Man movie?
I remember it.
Yeah, I know where this is going. So I mentioned this a lot when we were sitting there cracking wise. You remember the only scene I would actually call bad in Spider-Man 1? Because it's a good movie. The one scene I would say is terrible is, remember that really dated scene where it's like the parade where Macy Gray is singing for some inexplicable fucking reason? And
kid, move.
What?
Come on, kid, move.
Oh, yeah, I was going to say. The Green Goblin is crashing the party. He flies his glider through that balloon that knocks down, like, the structure, like the kid-crushing size structure. And the mom is screaming bloody murder. And they have that little boy who's just staring slack-jawed, like, what is this? Something's going to fall on me? And then Superman swings in. And all you can think about is that great Family Guy joke about everybody gets one. When Spider-Man will save someone, go, everybody gets one.
Hey, Petey, do stuff for me. Ooh, I don't like that.
Yeah. Kid just gawking at the thing that's going to kill him and when he has ample time to run. Okay, remember that kid, that one scene. That is every civilian in this fucking movie is that kid. Even the adults. I was livid. Every time it happened, I'm like, what was the line I kept repeating over and over in this movie? Fucking run. Like I said it, like the whole half of that movie, I said it about 17 times. Fucking run. Mm-hmm. Go. You have time. Get out of here. You could have walked slowly, laughing and pointing the whole time, even. Just move your body away from the danger. And there's this one woman who, I'm pretty sure it's the same person. When you first meet her, her car is crashing. He rescues her. And when she's on the bridge, she has time to get out and, like, bolt. She doesn't. So then later, they launch these sort of weird, gelatinous sort of, like, almost like embryos that have,
the sex.
And I can't lie, they were kind of cool. Like,
that was cool. I'm a huge mythology nerd. I don't know if you know that, Grant.
Yeah.
My major is English, and I want to teach high school English. And the students that I'm teaching currently, they're talking about the Odyssey and the Iliad and all the Greek mythology stuff. So I'm like, oh my god, this is like so cool. It's so cool to see the Chimera. It's so cool to see the Harpies and the Minotaur and the Cyclops. Like, that's awesome. Yeah. But you know what was the best part, Grant?
What?
The unicorns.
Thank you for queuing that up. We'll get to that next. Because that's where we are in the plot at this point. So, what do I even say? Okay, so they have, I swear to fuck, that same woman who he rescued in the car earlier in the movie, where I could, like, forget that. I'm like, whatever, it's setting things up. It's a superhero movie. There's a bridge collapse. There's always a bridge collapse. Whatever. She's just standing there, and this embryo is, like, splitting open, and you can see a scorpion stinger just coming out of it. And she's just sitting there like, It's literally like that bitch in Blood and Honey who just stayed in the pool and waited for Piglet to hit her with a sledgehammer to death. It's that character again. But it's everybody. So it's just, that's why. Like, I can understand maybe for half a second looking at it long enough to see that there's a stinger and going like, that's kind of weird. You don't see that every day. Oh shit, there's a stinger, and running. Mm-hmm. But it slowly comes out. And then she's like, maybe I should run. runs, stab with his finger, thrown, her corpse is thrown, and I turned to you, and what did I say to you? I said, good. It's natural selection. You're weeding out the dumbasses. And then everybody did that. Every single civilian just stood there and gawked at the danger and waited to be saved every single time. It was fucking frustrating. This movie is Carol Ann Syndrome like a motherfucker. You know the lead character is Billy because they say his name about half the dialogue at the end. Yeah! That's why I turned even like Carol Ann, Bruce, Patricia, because that's what it felt like. It's like Roger Ebert when he was talking about Poltergeist 3. How every line was Carol Ann and Bruce and Patricia. That's this movie. Every line was Billy and then also Freddy. Like that's half the dialogue. The Mary character also unlearned some lessons. This is the last one we'll get to. Because her arc in the story, and also Grace Curry, sweetheart, you're beautiful. You've proven you can be a good actor. Between this and Fall, for the love of Christ, fire your fucking agent. You know you're better than this. Stop. Just please, don't do these movies anymore. Don't do bad movies anymore. You're better than this. But that being said, her whole thing is she's going to go off to college. She's really smart. She's best top of her class, right? Mm-hmm. Even she's a dumbass because at the end, they seem to lead her on the path of, like, she's going to leave her younger siblings here. She's going to go to school, but she knows they're going to be okay because they're all together. That was, like, the arc. But in this one, like, no, she gets a job and she dicks around being a superhero and fuck college. Fuck academics. Fuck growing as a character. Because they had to unlearn everything. Mm-hmm. They can't be, for some reason, they couldn't just continue the story with the characters established and the threat of beings from another world wanting to kill everybody could be enough to sustain them for this movie. They had to undo everything, and I don't understand why. You could have made the movie without doing that, and it would have been better. The last point I will get to, because you queued it up before we do, the very last point I'll make is when we get to Trailer Check, because I have to talk about, or Shawarma. Because that really, really pissed me off. So like I was mentioning, Billy Batson seemingly dies. He dies long enough for you to realize, oh, he's not dead. They're going to fucking bring him back. And guess who shows up? Wonder Woman to half-heartedly...
Which you did not know this. That clip was spoiled in a promo. Eminem was posted that on his Instagram.
Yeah.
Warner Brothers had also posted that, and that was released, and everyone was like, oh, well, that was important. Thank you. Actually, I can find the post that Eminem had made, and I even commented, I said, thanks, Eminem, for ruining a part of a movie.
But the thing is that she didn't even seem like she knew where she was. It was like even Gal Gadot was like seemed to just be like, the mini controversy that got resolved a couple of years ago, where on the TV show The Chef Show, Jon Favreau was talking to Gwyneth Paltrow about how she had worked with Tom Holland before, and she goes, "Oh, I met Tom Holland, and he's like, he's a great kid. I've never worked with him." And he goes, "You were in Spider-Man: Homecoming." He's like, "No, I wasn't. We were in the Avengers. I was never in Spider-Man." But he goes, "Yeah, you were." And she goes, "I was? No, I wasn't." And then later, Tom Holland said he had his feelings kind of hurt, and then she personally responded to him saying, like, basically, like, "I'm sorry, hon, like, to be perfectly honest." And then she's clarified to I think it's Entertainment Weekly, like, so about that whole thing, and she goes, "Guys, I'm gonna be straight with you." He goes, "We shoot shit for Marvel movies, and we don't know what they go for, what they're gonna be put in. I thought I was shooting a scene for Avengers. That's what they told me. It was a scene from Spider-Man. I didn't know, right?" I'm convinced that Gal Gadot was green screened into that movie and was just told, be Wonder Woman for 2 minutes and act like characters are there. She probably thought it was a Justice League, like, something for the Snyder Cut or something, because she looked like she barely was in the frame with anybody else. It was really bad. And then, even like when they had her one line that acknowledged the other characters, it felt ADR'd in, where she says just keep saving the city, kid, or something like that. I think by that point I was just starting to like just lose my sanity, so I was like, whatever. It's Wonder Woman, yay. If this movie didn't suck, I would applaud. And that's where I did the line like, "Suck my cock. He's not dead." But then here's the thing that made me finally broke me, where I was like, Ben, I have to go. And you almost strapped me. You almost held my hand in place, like you literally. I think you actually kind of snapped me. You're like, no, you're staying.
I said, "You're fucking staying."
You fucking stay. Yeah, exactly. Like you brought me back to reality a little bit. You know what? Actually, I will do this. Sorry, Daddy Derek. I'm going to break the one rule apparently of YouTube, even though it's fair use. Hey guys, I love refreshing Mountain Dew. Oh my God, there's a dragon there! Mountain Dew! Come with me, have some delicious Mountain Dew. Riding on the unicorn, do the do, wink. Was that really annoying and obvious? Guess what? You'll fucking hate Shazam Fury of the Gods as much as I did, because guess what, people? Skittles saves the universe.
Yeah.
Fuck you, movie!
How this played out, and I laughed my ass off when it happened. So the little innocent girl from the first movie, still innocent and great kid actor, really did.
Yeah. That ruined it.
So the unicorn hates the human race, allegedly.
The unicorn's actually the closest they had to a cool creature, and they ruined it.
Yeah, the unicorn looked really cool. So the way that they tame the unicorn is she throws Skittles, because that is ambrosia, and that is the closest thing that the universe has to ambrosia. So Skittles saves the day, as Grant says.
Damn it!
And she literally fucking says, "Taste the rainbow."
No,
twice.
Before she does that, though, the other creatures, I think they're like surrounding them. And then Mary, Grace Curry, practically looking and winking at the camera, goes, "We're gonna need more Skittles." And then they're on the back of the horse, and it's PG-13, so they cut it off. They pull like a Die Hard 4 on it. But yeah, little girl's on the end, and goes, and they're like, "Whoa, let's go!" And then she looks off triumphantly on her steed and yells out, "Taste the rainbow, mother!" And I was like, "Fuck you, movie!" And I turned to you and I said, "I'm leaving. I have to go." No.
It was a great time. It was a great time.
And here's the thing: for those who don't know, that line is one of the greatest memes ever. If you don't remember the internet in like 2009, okay, and it's egregious the way they use it, because Skittles clearly funded this fucking movie. It's a commercial for Skittles, basically. If you guys ever watched the TV show The Nostalgia Critic, the web series, there was an episode they did on the Care Bears the movie, where there's the closest thing that movie has to an action sequence, where there's like a crow and it's like swooping down on the Care Bears, and they do their magical little laser stare thing where they like shoot lasers out of their stomachs, and then they have a ship that's like a smiley faced star that shoots a beam and it like blows the crow up. And then as the boat is pulling in, you can get a better look at it. You hear the Nostalgia Critic's voice, but like modulated to sound like a death metal singer, go, "Taste the rainbow, motherfuckers!" And it's like the best like meme ever. Like, you have to look it up. It's hilarious. It's ruined by this movie though, because that bit was a satire on Skittles commercials. This is a Skittles commercial. It's like Skittles is like, "Hey, that meme, we don't realize it's kind of making fun of us. Let's just make that the catchphrase." I was like so pissed. I turned to you and I said, "Dude, I gotta go. I can't with this movie anymore."
But we stayed.
We all the way to the bitter end for you people. So,
we love you. We love you, people. Let's make that very clear. The end credit scenes.
It was also one of those situations too where it was also for personal pride, where I'm like, I've made it through Blood and Honey. I made it through Fall. I'm not going to let this movie fucking break me. I'm not going to leave now. This is not going to be the movie that's going to make me walk out. This is not going to be that movie. I won't let it happen. It doesn't deserve it. Like, you know what I mean? There's that personal pride thing where it's like, if I wasn't reviewing it and it was just me watching, I'm like, fuck this shit. I've just left, right? But I was like, I'm not going to, if I'm going to review a movie, I'm staying to the bitter end. This is not going to be the movie that makes me break my one rule. It's not going to happen, right? But I'm going to vent my ass off when we get here. So anyway, that being said, I'm ready to score this motherfucker. Ben, would you like to repeat your score for those just joining us?
2 out of 5.
As for me, middle finger of kindness. Fuck you, Shazam! Fury of the Gods. 0 stars. Fuck. That was just putrid. That really. And again, I loved the first movie. I gave it 5 stars, or I would have if I don't. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to adjust it. If I look up my letterbox and it's only 4.5, I'm going to adjust it to a 5. It should be 5. I love that movie. I hated this one. It is literally night and day.
It is.
Don't see this movie, especially if you love the first movie.
The post-credit scenes for it.
We'll get there. Let's do trailer trash first. Let's do the right order. Let's not let
Wait. It goes movie. It goes movie. I thought movie, then post-credits, and then trailer.
No. That always comes last before we sign off.
Okay.
We're not going to let Shazam ruin our structure, Ben.
Okay.
It's not going to happen. Sorry. Didn't mean to snap.
You're fine.
But it's okay. We'll take a breather. We'll talk about the best part of the experience. Then we'll end it with a final sort of horribleness, right? Okay, so I have it right here. I'll tell you what the trailers are, and then we can just quickly share our thoughts, because we now have passed Cocaine Bear's length. We're almost half a Shazam.
And we liked Cocaine Bear. That's the funny part.
Yeah, that's the thing. We both gave it 5 stars, didn't we?
Yes, we did.
Now, see, that's an example of a popcorn movie right. Done right. Watch Art House, that you are in more silly movie already tired. You know what, Jorge? I agree with you. And that's why my favorite movie of this year, and from now and probably to the end, is Of an Age, which is an obscure Australian LGBTQ romantic drama that I didn't see in Edwardsville. Much apologies to Edwardsville. I love Edwardsville. I had to go out of town for that one. It was worth it. It was a phenomenal film. So go. That's the thing. It's probably out now. Go rent Of an Age. Fuck this movie. Just fuck this shit. Anyway. But yeah, thank you for that insight. Sorry, Ben.
You're fine.
So trailer trash. About My Father. This looked pretty funny.
Funny. I liked it. I wouldn't see it personally, but I thought it was a cool trailer.
I mean, I'm gonna see it because I'm gonna probably review it.
Yeah, it's your job.
But if it were just me going, I'm like, nah, I'd wait till it's on Netflix or something. But it looks perfectly fine. I like Sebastian Maniscalco and I like Robert De Niro. It looks pretty funny. I like when they're. I think I said it before because I've mentioned this trailer before. I've seen it before. When he mentions they're burying the evidence and he's like, why does it seem like you've done this before? Because it's like Robert De Niro. That was funny.
That was a good callback to his career.
Yeah. Oppenheimer. Holy shit, that movie's gonna fuck, dude.
I am so ready for it.
I am so excited.
That looks good. Look at this.
Here's how good it is. It's a movie directed by Christopher Nolan that has Cillian Murphy, Robert Downey Jr., Emily Blunt, and Josh Peck all in one movie. That movie's gonna fuck. That movie's awesome. Perfect cast. Just, yeah, let's go. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Mutant Mayhem.
I love Ninja Turtles. I am...
Same.
Love them.
And this looks really good. I gotta say, people have bitched about the art style. I actually quite like it. It looks like the comic. It has that It kind of has that thing that Puss in Boots, Spider-Verse, and Mitchell's vs. the Machines had that I loved about those movies. Is that kind of sort of comic book, sort of illustration, sort of CGI mix that I like. It looks like graffiti, basically, which is cool. I like that, and Seth Rogen being involved, like, it'll be fun. It'll be a fun time.
Absolutely.
I also like that they used the vintage Nickelodeon logo. That was rad. The splat in the trailer.
So Splinter with an afro? Fuck yeah.
Yeah, and it's also Jackie Chan is playing him. Fuck yeah. Talk about perfect casting. Someone told me like Jackie Chan shouldn't play Splinter. I'm like, dude, Splinter is fucking Jackie Chan. I'm not convinced they didn't base that character off of Jackie Chan at this point. Speaking of, real quick, if you don't mind if I digress, you've watched Tim and Eric, right?
I don't think so.
You've never watched Tim and Eric? Awesome show, great job. Adult Swim. Okay. There's an episode, and every time I hear that he's in a movie, I just think of it. There's an episode where all the skits are about Jackie Chan, and there's one skit where it's like it's a board game. The thing about Tim and Eric is that it's that Adult Swim thing of it's more the funniness comes from how weird and creepy it is than it is really like jokes. So there's a fake board game ad where it's like it's not Jackie Chan, where the game is if you give it if you all the correct answers have nothing to do with Jackie Chan. So if you say Jackie Chan, you lose. And so it's this guy, and he says, "Name 10 things that aren't Jackie Chan." This is the speed round, and the guy's like, lamps, table, pizza, Jackie Chan. Like, oh shit! Like, and the guy just lays on the buzzer, and he like gives a creepy look to the camera, and his poor friends are like losing their hearing. It was really funny. It's just weird, but it was funny. It's like he's so ubiquitous that they can't name 10 things without saying Jackie Chan. Anyway, moving on. That was stupid. Anyway, moving on.
No, it's not stupid at all.
Dungeons and Dragons: Honor Among Thieves, which we are seeing on Sunday, by the way, Sunday afternoon, because it's an early review. I am, at least.
I'm working Sunday afternoon.
Aww.
I'm getting paid.
I hear it's actually pretty good, though. I mean, it's like an 89. It's not bad. It's shockingly getting pretty good reviews. Looks good. I'm looking forward to it. Barbie. I have to see it. My wife is in it. But it looks good. I like the 2001 Prestige. It gives me hope.
Mm-hmm.
The best I feel Barbie could be is someone said this has the potential to be the Lego movie for girls. And they meant it as a compliment. I'm like, I kind of see it. Like, if they do it, if the tone of the movie is like that trailer, I'm really looking forward to it. You know? Stay you. Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. Which looks really good.
Love Guardians. I'm ready for it. I will see it, and I will probably talk about it for a while.
Ready your heart, because apparently he's going to kill some fools in this one.
I'm also ready for the soundtrack.
Dude,
it's just going exponentially higher.
Here's the thing about Volume 3 is that I know that they're, like, Mrs. Quill is dead. Like it's all just, they happen to have the music. I do like, though, that the motif of it being volumes, they finally made it to the 90s. That's pretty rad. Also, apparently, it's also Among Us for like 5 minutes or something in the movie. They're all like in multicolored spacesuits. Looks like fun. Fast X. Just call it Fast and the Furious 10.
I am not a fan of the series. Okay. If I had to choose a favorite of mine, Tokyo Drift. Coolest one.
Underrated, actually. I like Tokyo Drift.
I saw 8 in theaters because my friends were like, let's go see this movie. I'm like, all right, whatever.
That was one of the worst ones.
Yeah,
So,
it sucked.
I like
Malone had a song for it, so I was okay with it. And they went to space in number 9. I don't know.
I believe my take on this. I love the Fast and Furious movies. I'm ride or die to the end on this. Here's the thing: your mistake, Ben, is you brought logic into a movie that defies it completely, that throws it out the window. The complaint I always hear about number 9 is like, oh, they go to space. It's so dumb. And I think I said in my Letterboxd review at the time, and I think I said it in the video also, where I said that, look, there's a moment in this movie where fucking Tyrese and Ludacris drive a car through a satellite while in outer space with a rocket strapped to it. And he goes, if you're still thinking about logic when that gloriousness happens, you've missed the point of this whole franchise. It's a cartoon. It's a comic. It's a superhero movie. That's the idea, is that they're gods, basically. There's nothing that can stop them. All they need is a car, and they can literally... In this trailer, he takes out 2 attack helicopters with a Dodge Charger. They don't give a fuck. It's a superhero movie.
And he comes out unscathed.
Yeah, that's fine, though, because I'm used to that. The whole series is like that. They lost the ability to be grounded after number 1. From 2 on, it's just got progressively sillier. And I'm okay with that. Lastly, The Flash, which I'm only excited for because Michael Keaton's involved.
Yes, I am ready for that movie. Flash is one of my favorite heroes.
Yeah.
So I'm ready for it.
It's too bad that
Ezra Miller's a piece of shit.
Is a cock because, they basically ruined the entire And the thing is, they used to be a good actor. That's the thing that pisses me off. Like, Perks of Being a Wallflower was, and always will be one of my favorite movies. So is We Need to Talk About Kevin. They fucked it up. It's like, it's heartbreaking, kind of, because there was so much potential there. You know? That sucks. But what are you going to do? Evil people are going to be evil, I guess. I'm still going to see it for Keaton, though. That's fucking awesome. Don't fuck this up, DC. You fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. Anywho, and like you mentioned, Supergirl is going to be awesome in that movie.
Yeah.
That's it for the trailers.
Was that really it for the trailers?
Yeah, we didn't.
That's
have
crazy.
Yeah. Now I think it's shawarma time. So first off, and again, okay, let me clarify this by saying that if this were Shazam 1, and yes, I can judge it on that basis because this movie didn't work, and so the ending is not going to win me over just because this is a slightly clever line. Let me put this, before I begin, I think I said this. It's saying something when the funniest moment in the movie probably was guest written by James Gunn. Because what happens is, for those, again, spoilers, who cares? The mid-credit scene is Shazam, again, which he's established, even though he should be Captain fucking Sparklefingers, but that's just me. He's there waiting. They do the whole build-up. It's Harcourt and, what's his name, from Peacemaker and Suicide Squad. The James Gunn. I love Peacemaker. And it just, that was a thought upon me. It's like, you're right, movie. I could be rewatching Peacemaker again. I love that. Like, that was one of the best things you guys ever did, right? So, we're watching it, and they recruit him into the Justice League, but they quickly clarify it's the Justice Society from Black Adam. And, they make a semi-clever joke, Shazam does, where he says, that's really misleading, and also it's kind of confusing that you have two teams that have justice in it, in the name. And I'm like, you know what? If that were Shazam 1, that would actually be clever. Even as written. Like, it would be clever. But I just didn't care, because by that point I was so mad that I didn't buy it. And then the biggest fuck you back to me was the final, like the after the credits scene. There is an after the credits one. So do you guys remember in Shazam 1, spoiler alert, in the mid-credit scene in Shazam 1, it's also a spoiler for Shazam 2 in a way. The main bad guy, Mark Strong's character, is in jail. Justice being served, right? But they have to set up the next movie, right? And they make a big hullabaloo about it. Mr. Mind shows up. It's in Caterpillar form and tells them that, we're going to take over the world. That was the setup at the end of the first movie. Guess what happens in the post-credits scene? That exact thing, the only difference is the movie makes what they think is clever, but it's really just a fuck you remark about how it's taking too long for this setup to pay off. He's in the jail cell. He has a beard. He tells the guy, when are we going to do the evil plan? And he says, soon, after I'm done. And he slowly walks away and he goes like, God damn it! And that's how I'm like, fuck you, movie. I said it again. I was like, it's the same scene. It is the exact same scene. There was no progression to that thread. And there won't be. You know why? And now I'm actually fucking happy. There's not going to be a third one. This movie's going to bomb.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, DC.
Very likely no, because this movie's going to bomb. They said they're going to wait to see if the movie does at all well before they even consider having this character in any of the other movies, which is okay because after Aquaman 2 this Christmas, the DC movies as we know them will cease to exist. They are getting a hard reboot that's going to begin, the seeds of which is going to begin with The Flash. So guess what? I never thought I'd say this, and this is going to be my last word on the movie proper, because I love Shazam 1, is this movie needs a hard reboot. We need, do Shazam 1 again. Fuck the continuity of this shit. You killed it. It's over. The first movie is still good. Second movie, though, I don't want to see these characters again in this universe unless you give them a serious re-reversal back to normal. Because fuck this. What I'd like you to do is start over, Maybe do different casts, maybe slightly different, whatever. Get someone who can fucking direct, because I'm going to say something controversial. I don't think David F. Sandberg is that good of a director. I think he, at best, he has made 2 shitty movies, 1 great movie, and 1 pretty good movie. The pretty good one was Annabelle Creation. I actually like that.
I loved Annabelle Creation. That's my favorite one of the entire Conjuring series.
And I think a lot of the reason I loved it too is that it's better than the first one in every way. Whereas this one really fucking isn't. Shazam is the great movie, the first one. This movie, and I'm gonna make a hot take here. I fucking can't stand Lights Out. That movie is inconsistent as shit. I hated that movie. I saw that movie on vacation. There was a thunderstorm going on. The chaos outside, and they left the door swinging open, and the door to the outside exit, was swinging back and forth with the thunder. What was going on outside was scarier than anything that happened in Lights Out for me. It was not a good movie. That was a movie that, again,
wasn't Lights Out the one where it's like
she only can get you when the lights are off, and people loved it. It got like an 80% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Oh, I'm thinking of Don't Breathe, where like the guy's like disabled.
No, see, Don't Breathe's the reversal, because Don't Breathe 1 was great, and Don't Breathe 2 was sucked a butt, right? Okay, but like Lights Out, that was a movie where, spoiler alert, suicide saves the world in that movie. The way that the problem is solved is the mom shoots herself in the fucking head and kills the ghost. Yeah, fuck you, movie. Not kidding either. So, this guy, you know who could do this really well, and it would be a good redemption for what Marvel did? Reboot it and do this. Edgar Wright directs Shazam. Have him do it. He knows how to do it. He has the right sense of humor for it. He can do this well. Even if you want to bring Zachary Levi back. Because here's the other thing. As much as people give him shit because he's Christian and he has some controversial opinions, he doesn't seem like a complete asshole, and I like him as an actor. I love Chuck. That was one of my favorite shows when he was on. And I loved him in the first movie. He's kind of annoying in this movie. Shazam as a character is annoying. He's not funny, and he's trying way too hard to be funny. I almost felt bad for Zachary Levi in this, because I was watching it, I'm like, man, you just don't have a clue what to do right now. Or you're just riffing, and it's not funny, and there's no script to tie you down. Then there's none of the humor or the wit of the first movie. You're just trying way too hard. He's gone from being a legitimate kid in a man's body being funny to basically being your dorky uncle who doesn't know when to take the lampshade off his head and leave the fucking party and stop making dad jokes. He's just not funny in this movie. And I don't necessarily blame him, I blame the material. It's just really not good in comparison to the first movie.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I promise you we're going to end it here. I'm going to end, before we say goodbye, I will tell you this. The one solitary moment, I guess this is the second $10 moment in a movie, whatever. The one moment that I was like, made me laugh for the first minute of it, and then it went on for another 4 minutes. The one where I was like, okay, that's kind of funny, and then like, okay, we get the point. Cute. Okay, move on. So as I mentioned earlier, Steve the floating pen. Kind of cute idea. The setup of a gag in that movie, I think you know the one I'm getting at. When it's the same scene where not Freddie Freeman, because it's not the same fucking character. Evil Freddie Freeman.
Douchebag Freeman.
Douchebag Freeman, yeah. Just sucking all the joy out of it, like a Dementor. He's under the thing, and the joke is, and you get it after the first minute, it's funny in the first minute, because you're like, okay, it's kind of clever. And this, okay. Helen Mirren is like reading, and Helen Mirren, she's a national treasure, and she also can be really funny. So a lot of it is her delivery too. But she's reading it, and the joke is that the letter she's reading, the kind of compromise letter that they're trying to send to her, he's doing it while Steve is dictating back. It's like Cyrano de Bergerac kind of thing, where it's like the pen is dictating, but he's dictating everything, even stuff that's not supposed to be in the letter. So it's not just like, it'll be like, oh, like return Freddie Freeman, but then it'll also be like, no, Steve, I said this. Let's get some Gatorade. Like, it's like that kind of, where they keep it that was kind of funny as a gag for like, when it started, and then it went on way too long. It's like, we get it. We get it. Stop. We get it. That was another another thing, and it's the problem I had with Blood and Honey is, you know, that scenes that were simple went on way too long in this movie to make it over 2 hours. Did you notice that? There were a lot of scenes where they really padded it out, like where people are confronting a bad guy and they're just standing there staring each other down for what feels like an eternity. Right?
Mm-hmm.
It's bad. Anyway, thanks for coming, Ben. Sorry I talked over
No,
you.
dude, you're perfectly fine. Hour and 10 is our record.
Damn. We were an hour away from literally meeting the runtime of that movie and just bitching about it.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, that's it. It's just, fuck this movie. I'm sorry. I'm. The thing that's, again, more heartbreaking is that this should have been easy, right?
Yeah.
Just take the first movie, do it maybe a little bigger if you want to, but keep what it was intact. All you had to do. See, we've right now had sort of a watershed moment in sequels. There have consistently been sequels that are as good, if not better, than the first. Top Gun Maverick, you know? Avatar Way of Water and Away was better than the first one. A Quiet Place Part 2 is as good as Quiet Place, you know, which I never thought was possible. Glass Onion, you know, like there's these sequels that are actually Black Panther, Wakanda Forever. Like we've had a consistently good time of sequels lately. This is the opposite. This was terrible. And it's like they took everything that made the first one special and they fucked it into oblivion. It's just not the same. It's hard to believe it's the same writer, director, and cast and producers who did the first movie. It baffles me that they thought this was a good direction to take these characters in. Anyway, that's it. Fuck Shazam Fury of my taint. That's what it's going to be called from now on. Fury of the cock.
Fury of the Grant.
Fury of the... Yeah, thank you. Shazam Fury of the Grant. Please, now I will say this. Next week, we're seeing another long-awaited sequel, John Wick Chapter 4, and it better be good. Because I cannot be hurt again. I feel like...
It's supposed to look really cool.
Also, apparently, it's pretty great. I mean, this movie even has had a downgrade in the tomato meter. Like, the first movie has like a 90. This is like a 60. Which is still too high for this fucking movie. It should be like in the 10s. But then again, 80% of the critics were wrong about Fall, so... Including my brother, so...
Fall is a good movie, Grant.
Fall
okay.
And so can you.
So, okay... So, just for the viewers at home...
This is going to end up being a review of Fall again, isn't it?
So, for the viewers at home... I asked you this question already. What would you rather watch if you had only, like, 2 movies to watch for the rest of your life? Fall or Fury of the Gods?
Can I choose to rip my eyes and eardrums out and never watch anything again?
No, you have to choose one of those 2 movies.
Fall, I guess, because it didn't disappoint me to the degree.
Wow.
Well, because
okay.
Fall was just a reskin of a shitty movie I saw 5 years earlier. Shazam had potential because the first one was so good, and it muffed it so bad that it actually actively made me irritated. Whereas Fall, I just kind of was like, what the fuck ever, fuck. Just like, it was just kind of like, whatever. And also, I mean, it was slightly more watchable than this. Again, it's relative, because they both suck balls, but like, you know...
No, I get it, yeah. So this is the new standard of, was it better than this?
I should clarify, the worst movie of this year will not be Shazam Fury of the Gods, it will be Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey. Because this at least tried to look like a movie, whereas Blood and Honey just looked like someone made it in their fucking backyard with like a camcorder and no lighting crew. and this at least had kind of a plot, whereas Winnie the Pooh was like it had an elevator pitch, and then it was just tits and people getting stabbed for the next hour. Like there was nothing else to it. But yeah, fuck this movie. Again, it's all relative. They all suck. You know, they all suck. There's slightly different levels of unwatchable bullshit, and this is unwatchable bullshit too. It's just slightly. It's like, you know how they always say that shit sometimes will have corn in it, even though it's no different. It doesn't change the current piece of shit.
You can polish the turd, but it's still a piece of shit.
This is shit, but this one has a little bit of corn in it, whereas the other one is just diarrhea. And they're both unpleasant, and you don't want to eat them. But like, I guess I'd rather have it where there was some semblance of food in there. Yeah, than have it. Whatever. I can't even make a good analogy anymore. This movie ruined my. Movie warped my fragile little mind. Again, I think the lesson of both videos is see Cocaine Bear and also watch fucking South Park because it's the best thing ever. Just watch South Park. Fuck that. Get a freaking root canal with no anesthesia would be a more pleasant time than watching this movie. Getting your toenail removed with a hot iron and no drugs would be preferable to this piece of shit.
I think I would rather drink Flint, Michigan tap water than watch this movie again.
Oh. That was the other thing is that I made you laugh because I remember another thing that I made you laugh hard. Like I remember I was proud was when because you reminded me is when Rachel Zegler has also this movie is sappy as a motherfucker. Like I think I said it best when I said the first movie's writing would make fun of this movie. It's like sappy. Like the first one was self-aware and kind of smart about it. Even its heart was infused with some level of like sarcasm and wit, right? So Richard Zegler's talking about how it's like you can't destroy this beautiful place or whatever, and this beautiful world or something. And I turned to you like, okay, like, calm down. It's fucking Pennsylvania. Like,
it's Philadelphia.
But that's not a reason to save the whole set. It's Philadelphia, sweetheart. It's not that deep. Like, we'll be fine.
We'll be okay.
If you can take Detroit out while you're at it, and all the rest of Michigan, go ahead.
Oh my gosh.
So anyway, that's it. We're done. But where can they find you, Ben? Before we say goodbye for good.
The Twitch channel from the Cocaine Bear video.
Yes. And your YouTube channel.
And my YouTube channel. Did we link my letterbox on that one?
We didn't, but I could.
Well, yeah, we'll just put everything in the Cocaine Bear.
Yeah.
Or you put either letterbox on here or letterbox on Cocaine Bear. Obviously, check both the videos that I'm mentioned in to check out my letterbox. I've started adding more stuff to my letterbox, so I would love to. For instance, I'll give a little tease.
Mm-hmm. I'm looking it up myself because I've only seen the new movies so far. This one's been very recently.
So I added a list. I have lists. I have 2 lists.
Oh boy!
I have my favorite Disney movies, and they're not in any particular order. That would make that very apparent.
Nice.
And I have my favorite films of all time, and I'm trying to think more about what actually are my favorite movies, so I can talk about them for hours on end. And I need to add some more to that list. But I'm trying to make it either a power of 5 or an even number. Yeah, power of 5.
Mm-hmm. I looked at your list. All I have to respond is, stop saying I look like Chicken Little. He's dumb. He's a coward. I'm not a coward.
Yeah, I fucking love that line.
Like, stop saying I look like Chicken Little.
He's a coward, and I am not a coward.
But the thing is, he says he's dumb and he's a coward, and he's like, he doesn't ever object to the dumb part. He's just like, I'm not a coward. I think that guy died, by the way, so RIP to that guy. He was funny.
Rip. Yeah.
Yeah, the Chicken Little guy. So yeah, you know me. You know where to find me. Letterbox, music board, all that shit. Coming up, same Grant time, same Grant channel, hopefully happier Grant, better movies. Tomorrow, we'll be checking out Moving On with Jane Fonda and Lily Tomlin, which I'm looking forward to. It's directed by Chris Weitz, who did About a Boy, which I loved, and the really underrated Lily Tomlin movie, Grandma, which if you've not seen Grandma, it's great. It's only 80 minutes. I highly recommend it. So I'm going to see this movie. It'll probably be a little later than usual just because I'm going to be dog sitting for a little while when I get home. And then we'll do it. But then Saturday I have a review of the Hulu film Boston Strangler with Keira Knightley, which is really interesting. Sunday is our early review unless someone on screen tells me I can't, because sometimes that'll happen. Embargoes are a thing. We'll have an early review of Dungeons & Dragons Honor Among Thieves. And the next week, I think the only thing next week really is John Wick, unless that Zach Braff one, it's a wide release and not a limited release.
Mm-hmm.
The one with Florence Pugh.
Yeah.
Forget what that's called.
I can't think of anything off the posters at the theater of what
Mhm.
would be coming. The one I'm most excited for that's coming up is
it
Air.
Narrative?
I'm ready for Air.
I look forward to Air too. I want to see that. I'll say this: of the movies that weekend, people are like, "You're the most excited for Mario." I'm like, actually, no. I'm really excited for the movie Paint with Owen Wilson. So I saw the trailer for that last week. That looks
Hmm.
pretty funny. It looks like Napoleon Dynamite, but if it's Owen Wilson and Paint.
I'm also
Either
ready for Renfield. That's gonna be fun.
dude, you're seeing Renfield with us. We're seeing that together.
Hmm.
We have to. Austin wants to go. Sarah wants to go, and Sarah hates horror movies. She wants to see.
Well,
Also,
this is a Nicolas Cage as Dracula
I
horror
know.
comedy.
Also, Ben, you know what's coming up in the next few weeks? This is actually my most anticipated movie of April, and you have to go with me.
Evil Dead.
Evil Dead Rise, baby.
That poster's up at the theater actually.
Dude, we are going to have my two most anticipated movies of April coming out that same day, and I'm gonna see Evil Dead first because it's shorter. But we have that one, and then Beau is Afraid. Ari Aster.
I'm so ready for Beau is Afraid.
Dude, you better strap in, bro. It's 3 hours. They've confirmed it. It's been rated. It's 3 hours on that. It's like 2 hours 59. Like it's gonna be long. But I'm so pumped for it. That trailer is one of the best trailers I've ever seen for a movie. I love that trailer. Evil Dead Rise premiered at South by Southwest yesterday, and according to people who saw it, they said this might actually be the goriest and craziest Evil Dead movie ever. So that's pretty awesome. And that's saying something, because boy, fuck. The Evil Dead movies, all of them are gory as shit. Like, if you have a weak stomach, you'll hate those movies.
Mm-hmm.
You will not make it like a minute in. They're fucked up.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, we got that coming up. We have, I guess we're getting Fast X because we already have tickets for it, even though it's like for like 3 months. It's coming out in the summer, isn't it? It's like coming out May or June. Right?
May. Let me tell you the exact date.
Like
May 12th.
Like, okay, May 12th. Oh, May 12th. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, we got all that coming up. Whatever. But yeah, in the meantime, also I'm gonna try to do the Sundance video. I don't know when it's coming. Hopefully it'll be soon. I already know for sure that the first full Sundance review is coming in July because it's the first one to be dated, and that's for Theater Camp, which I saw at Sundance, but I'm going to see again when it opens. It's getting a wide release, so. It's opening the same day as Mission Impossible, so since I already saw it, I'm seeing Mission Impossible first, but then in IMAX, but then I'm going to go, yeah. Anyway, that being said, thank you, Ben, for coming on. I will let you get back to work. I will leave you now. And thank you all for watching. And until next time, I'm Grant, the movie and TV guy. I see it all, and I'm happy to share it with you. And that's been Ben, aka Chubbs. Go check him out. He is the man. You're awesome, buddy.
You are as well. I'm glad I got an angry video. It was fun.
It's been a long day for both of us. But yeah, thank you all. Have a good night, everybody. Peace. Bye.